So the Himalayan BS-6. It's a different class of a bike and I'm lucky to test it. Now before even starting the review, this is not a daily commuter or a track bike, but instead this is something that's bound to be rough handled and taken into tough scenarios. And for a bike with such capabilities, this new Himalayan BS-6 is a wonderful bike. It's a great off-roader as well as a bike that can be used to an extent for your daily rides. But here the thing that stands out is the off-roading capabilities of the Himalayan. So now let's check the design and all the specialities from it. And here as you can see, this is designed differently than what we see regularly in roads. It has this lean look at its core. From the front, the big 21-inch rim which is fitted with a 90mm thick tire does stand out. And for the front mudguard, it's this two-piece thing, and this is something that's surely gonna come in handy through muddy tracks. And about that, you can see the telescopic 41mm fork suspension which has 200mm travel, and this one is a great one which helps to comfortably maneuver through the worst conditions. It does take all the stress and the stiffness was not very soft, but then it's not very hard too. It's like the ideal setting for both regular use as well as for that rough riding. And then moving on to the headlight, it's a very simple halogen bulb, and here there isn't any bells and whistles other than having a windshield which does match well with the design of the bike. And also this headlight is not really a great one for night rides, but still it does its job. Then moving to the handle, this is one of the core things that does help the bike with dual posture riding. It's the straight type one which is set at a higher level, and for me it was comfortable. I didn't need to stretch out for the hold, and since it's set high, it does offer that flexibility for both a sitting and also a semi-standing riding posture. And in the handle, the switch controls are pretty good ones. You get the dim bright control along with pass light switch, which is a very handy control, but here I really wish this switch had a bit more area because it was like too short for my liking. Then there is the chalk control, and also you get the indicator toggle and horn on the left side, and on the right side there is the engine kill switch, the hazard toggle, and the self start switch. So like I said, that is all the controls you need, and also these switches are of great quality. Then checking the speedo console, it's a digital analog one and it does look pretty neat. The layout is well thought out and the white backlight does add to the overall appeal. And also the amount of info this portrays is just awesome. You get the gear position indicator, trip meters, clock, odometer, then there is the RPM meter as a separate section, and you even get a digital compass. Now there are more stuff in here like the ABS indication, battery meter, etc. And also this bike, even though being a dual channel ABS one, you can turn the rear ABS off if you want a more control while doing some intense off-riding. Then checking the tank, it's a solid metal tank which is not a massive one, but it's the perfect one for such kind of a bike. Now this tank does show the color scheme of the bike, and there are 6 options available, and the one shown in this video is the rock red color. And by the way, the tank capacity of this bike is actually 15 liters, which is a good capacity because the mileage was not that exceptional, but still good for the segment. During our testing, the mileage we got was approximately 34 km per liter, and the scenarios we tested was not very intense, but it was more of like the regular conditions. And therefore, in more rigorous situations, the mileage may be a bit less. And like always, please do keep in mind that this is the mileage we got, and for you, it might be different because mileage totally depends on riding conditions and also the riding pattern. Then moving to the rear section of the bike, well, it's simple yet again functional. The taillight is a small one which surely blends, and the mud flap is also designed for the true off-roading purpose. And also another great add-on done here is the rear carrier type grab bar, which is a most welcome one while touring. And then checking the exhaust, it's a moderately sized metal one which is set on the slanting position, and also the rear 120mm thick tire is actually fitted to a 17-inch rim. And here the rim is the spoke type one, and also the tires are the tube ones. Now this is the classic Royal Enfield setup, but for me I do prefer the other way around. But then these tires are actually multi-purpose tires, so that's a handy thing for both off-roading and on-roading. Then checking the seat, well, it's kinda like the split type one with impressive cushioning for the rider seat, and I did like the seat comfort in the Himalayan. It felt to be done well, so long rides are comfortable, and same is the case while the ride is through bad conditions. And about the pillion seating, well, the comfort is almost the same, but the seating area was a bit less, and also getting in and out was not very simple like the regular Royal Enfield motorcycles. And lastly, the rear suspension is the monoshock one with linkage, and it has 180mm wheel travel, and this one is set to moderate stiffness, and it does take the stress away, hence there was no back pain issues or discomfort. And after checking the whole design thing and the way everything works, I feel the Himalayan is a bike designed rightly for its purpose, because here everything works in conjunction to provide the right amount of safety and comfort while you go for some climbing, or if it's the city ride thing, they do blend well for that too. And you're talking about the bike's overall weight, well, it's 199 kilograms, and for me the bike did stay in control, but then the conditions I tested was not very intense. And if you're in such a situation, I think you need to do the weight balancing properly. But one thing you don't need to worry much is about the ground clearance, because it is at a whopping 220mm, and for sure it's gonna stay safe through most of the rough conditions. And in the dimension side, everyone will be curious about its seat height, and it's at 800mm, which for me was spot on. I didn't have any troubles reaching the ground, nor did I face any trouble from the handlebar too. And as a reference for you, My height is 176 centimeters. So now that we have checked the design, its functionality, the overall dimension, and how well the bike stays in control, and also the mileage, well, now it's time to check the core thing, which is the engine. This is the new BS-6 version of the Himalayan, and hence the engine is a 411cc single-cylinder 4-stroke air-cooled fuel injection one. This engine does generate excellent power and torque, which shouldn't be a surprise. And in road, this power can be felt right from your first ride. There is serious capability, and hence hitting the 100 plus mark is just simple for the Himalayan. If you want to hit an open road with high speed, it's possible, or maybe if you don't want to do that, then the smooth riding thing can also be done. I mean, it's not like the proper city commuting stuff, but then even with all this power, a calm ride can be done. It can be because the engine is tuned in such a way, and also the 5-speed gearbox does play a role in that too. The gear ratio is laid out in a generous manner, and that's what gives the Himalayan the advantage for both off-roading and also on-roading. I'm probably not going to pick the Himalayan as my all-purpose bike, but after testing, I feel this is a great off-roading touring bike which can be fitted into your daily regular rides too. And that's what makes this bike a good one for anyone who's very much into touring and loves to do the off-road rides. They're going to be very happy with the BS-6 Himalayan. And also the safety side has not been compromised here. The dual channel ABS does its job in an excellent manner for control stopping in proper riding conditions even at a speed in the 90 plus range. And about the ride control, the bike is an easy to control one, but then it's not like a bike with nimble precision for flicking. And about the gear shifting and the clutch feel, well, they both are a bit on the stiff side, and that was especially noticeable with the clutch. So overall, the Himalayan BS-6 is a great adventure bike. For the ex-showroom pricing of 1.88 lakh in Kerala, I think it's one of the best options for anyone who's into adventure rides. The pricing is extremely competitive, and the BS-6 Himalayan has all the necessary stuff to help you through in your off-roading adventures with the impressive power, flexible riding posture, comfortable seating, proper safety, tunable brakes, and well-set structure to handle things. Downsides are there, but I think for the segment it falls into, this is one sweet option for the adventure craving riders. That's all for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, a like is much appreciated, and a sub will be great. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye, and always ride safe.